Delta Brewing Systems, FermTank 14-gallon conical fermenter. Let's open it up and see how it looks. Hi, I'm Bradley with 2B Brewing. I recently just purchased the Delta Brewing Systems FermTank 14-gallon fermenter, and we're going to see what's inside. Now, Delta just released this fermenter on 12/14/2021, so this is completely brand new. Delta Brewing stickers. So we've got our cover with an instruction manual, a couple of silicone and a hard plastic gasket for tri-clamps. Top cover is a 4-inch cover. I have some hops from Yucca Valley. These look to be Azeka. A couple more stickers. The box is not in too bad of shape. There's a couple of little shipping marks on it. I did purchase the neoprene jacket to go with this. I did not purchase the cooling coil. I currently don't have a setup available to utilize a cooling coil, so I'm going to end up putting this into my fermentation chamber. We've got the main body, and looks like there's more goodies down below. So the main body has got tri-clamp here, tri-clamp there. Inside is very shiny, looks really nice. Welds are nice and smooth. You can see the welds from the handles, the handle marks, but it's just little pockets or dimples, really. Looks really nice. Handles are solid on. They do not fold. The legs come with a couple of wing nuts, so that way you can adjust these. I believe, I have to double check, but I believe Delta said that this extends from anywhere from 27 inches tall to about 34 inches tall. So you got a lot of options for leg spacing. All right, got a hefty little box here. This looks to be a bunch of our fittings. So I got a bunch of 1.5-inch tri-clamp fittings. I have our 1.5-inch thermo well. One and a half inch blow off tube to go on. This is to go on top of the cover. Cover is encased in bubble wrap. So I'm going to undo this snap. This is not very pressure capable per Delta's website, only up to 4 psi. Looks like a decent clamp band. It does have a sticker that specifies which side up. Nice cap. And then here's the tri-clamp spot for your blow-off tube, or if you were to attach any other fancy T attachments or whatever. This is very nice and clean. There is a gasket underneath inside to help keep that on. Then we've got a tri-clamp ball valve, quarter turn ball valve. This would go down with our down to our sample port. Here is a nice little bag to go with it. Here is our butterfly valve. This does come with a butterfly valve right away, so that is very cool and easy cleaning. 90 degree short elbow. It looks like this is a cap, 1.5 inch cap, another 1.5 inch cap. So 3 1.5 inch caps. And then we've got a press fit pickup tube that'll go into the back side of our ball valve for sampling. Our sample ball valve does include threads on the inside, but considering we're not going to screw anything in, we can easily keep that nice and clean. This fits inside nicely. This is currently just a hose barb with this. That is it for the packaging for this fermenter. We'll assemble it shortly here and see how she looks. One thing to also note, the fermenter body does contain gallons and liter markings from, these are actually stamped, from 8 gallons to 14 gallons. Delta's instruction manual is very simple, has a listing of all the parts, and then assembly instructions with pictures, and then explaining how to clean before fermentation and handling after fermentation. One thing to note, if you were to attach the bottom elbow with the butterfly valve, you have to raise the legs or extend the legs 1 notch with your included bolts and wing nut. Otherwise, you will not be able to fit the butterfly valve on. One thing to note about putting on the butterfly valve is when it's closed, you want the handle to go to the right. So you're facing away from the fermenter, the handle goes to the right. That way when you swing it open, it points out to you. If you had it the other way, you would hit your elbow and the bottom of the fermenter. So it might be easier to install it while it's open. That way you remember exactly which way to put the ball valve, the butterfly valve. Which way to put the butterfly valve. I'm not doing this all super tight. I am just doing this to make sure everything fits and looks good. I'll do a water test later. So one thing that I can do is I can put my dip tube and ball hose barb I am going to put so that way the dip tube is in line with the handle, so that way wherever the handle turns, I know that the dip tube is opposite. And next I'm going to put on the thermal well. If you're not going to use a thermal well, or even if you didn't want to use the dump port with the elbow and ball valve, butterfly valve, you can just put on a cap on the bottom. Next, I'm going to put on the lid. So the lid already has a gasket. It might be removable, not coming out very easy for me. At the moment, I am just going to do the cover for the main hole. You can utilize this to dry, add additional hops, dry hop while fermenting, or possible other various attachments. I don't have the chilling coil at this point, but that's because I don't have the mechanism to utilize the chilling coil. In the packaging, the silicone gasket was a little bent, so I'm just trying to make sure it's sitting correctly before I put the clamp on. And then next is the blow off tube. So you can just turn the cover if you want your blow off tube going the other way. And then lastly is going to be our band clamp for the top of the fermenter. It's just a solid steel clamp, so you just need to start it and then it just snaps on, and then you just got a little clamping mechanism to clamp it down. And there you have it, the Delta Brewing Systems 14-gallon FermTank fermenter. I think this is going to be very nice in use. I am looking forward to doing that. I forgot to put on the jacket.
If you want to see this fermenter in use, see 2B Brewing in a couple of weeks for the next video. Leave a comment below. What do you think of this fermenter, or what options do you want to see with this fermenter? If you liked the video, give a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. And don't forget to click the bell so you don't miss out on the next video. Thanks, and this has been Bradley for 2B Brewing, and we'll see you next time. Be on the lookout for the usage of this fermenter.